Welcome to the Martini Mortgage Podcast, episode 119, called 5 Powerful Reasons to Own a Home, recorded in May 2021. My name is Kevin Martini, and I am a certified mortgage advisor, NMLS 143962, and producing branch manager of the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial Company, NMLS number 66247. I have said it before, and let me start this episode of the Martini Podcast by saying it again. There is a time to rent. However, that time is not now, in my opinion. Listen, there's nothing wrong with renting. However, what is wrong is renting without fully understanding your homeownership options. I have found that many people keep renting because they assume they cannot qualify for a mortgage because of their credit, or because they believe they don't have enough down payment saved. Let me share some real-world Kevin Martini scenarios with you. You do not need to have perfect credit to secure a home loan today. Let me say it again. You do not need to have perfect credit to secure a home loan today. I know that some bad things have happened to very good people. Just because it has happened, it doesn't define you or doesn't have to prevent you from participating in home ownership. Let me make this clear. With the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial Company, it is not about where you have been. It's about where you are going. Some of the families I have helped have had credit scores that started with a 5, and we were still able to help them secure a mortgage. In addition, many do not realize there are unique programs that the Martini Mortgage Group offers that do not even require a down payment, or if a down payment is required, it's very low. It is a fairy tale that you need to put 20% down to secure a mortgage today. Don't let misconceptions drive you towards signing another lease. Explore your options by consulting with a certified mortgage advisor to explore what your homeownership potential options can be. Okay, with all that said, let me get to the advertised 5 Kevin Martini Powerful Reasons to Owning a Home. Number 1 is you are paying for housing whether you own or rent. Perhaps a better way of saying this is, we all need to have a roof over our head. Some people will rent that roof and other people will own that roof. I want to highlight a very important point. When you rent, you are paying for a mortgage. You are not paying your mortgage, but you are paying your landlord's mortgage for them. When I shared this sentiment to a group of people during a virtual seminar, there was a young professional that raised his hand, and he said that my thesis was incorrect because when he rents, he has eliminated the cost of property tax and home repairs. Now, I can see how someone could have this perception that they are just paying rent and nothing else. But perception is not reality. When you rent, you have to realize that all the expenses the landlord incurs, such as property taxes, repairs, insurance, is all included in the rental amount the tenant will pay. You know what else is factored into the rental amount the tenant pays? The landlord's profit. The number 2 powerful reason to owning a home is that housing is one of the only leveraged investments available today. Homeownership allows one to amplify any appreciation on the value of their home by a leverage factor. A 20% down payment results in a leverage factor of 5, meaning every percentage point rise in the value of home is a 5% return on equity. Let me share a Kevin Martini audio example. Let's assume you purchased a $300,000 home and put $60,000 down, which is 20% of the purchase price. Oh, by the way, let me do a sidebar. You don't have to put 20% down to buy a home. There are today low and no down payment options with the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial, where 20% down payment is not needed. In addition, there are also no down payment options. So if that house that we were just talking about, that $300,000 house that you purchased, you put 20% down, which is $60,000. If that house appreciates by $30,000, that is only a 10% increase in the value, but a 50% increase in equity. Now, to number three. Number three is not sexy, but it is very, very true, and it is important to know. Owning a home is a form of forced savings. Did you know that the homeowner's net worth is 44 times, not 44%, 44 times greater than that of a renter, according to the Federal Reserve? I believe this is because every time a homeowner makes a mortgage payment, they are contributing to their net worth, because the typical mortgage payment is not just interest, it's principal too. The payment of principal is reducing the amount owed on the home loan and increasing the equity position in the home. In addition, if needed or wanted, that for savings, you can unleash that equity via a cash out refinance. We are now to the fourth powerful Kevin Martini reason to owning a home, and that is there may be substantial tax benefits to owning a home. To illustrate this benefit, let me share a quick synopsis on the income tax deductions. A tax deduction reduces how much money you owe in tax. Take a tax deduction you must itemize. And whether or not you should itemize depends if your itemized deductions are higher than the standard deductions. There is no question, in my opinion, one saves more on taxes when the itemized deductions are larger than the standard deductions. The excess times your marginal tax rate is what you save by your tax deduction. With that said, please know I'm a certified mortgage advisor and a podcaster, and not a CPA, nor am I a tax attorney, so please consult with your tax professional. With that said, in my personal and professional experience as a certified mortgage advisor, I have found that the tax breaks can offset the cost of not just owning a home, but also buying one too. We are now at the fifth powerful reason to owning a home, and it is owning a home is a hedge against inflation. At the time of this recording of this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, there is not a threat of inflation anymore. Inflation is here. When inflation rears its head, it decreases your buying power, and things you just simply cost more. In investing, a hedge is something that protects you, and is a hedge against inflation is an asset that is expected to maintain or increase in value. During periods of inflation, home values and rents tend to rise at a higher rate than inflation, and home values from a historical perspective tend to perform very well. I believe that when you own a home, your home's value will be protected from inflation. Let me give you a recap of the 5 powerful Kevin Martini reasons for owning a home. Number 1, you're paying for housing whether you own or you rent. Number 2 is housing is one of the only leveraged investments available today. Number 3 highlights that owning a home is usually a form of forced savings that you can tap into in the future if you need to. Number 5 shares there may be substantial tax benefits to owning a home. And number 5 is owning a home is a hedge against inflation. Oh, by the way, there are more than 5 powerful reasons to owning a home. There are more financial reasons, and there are even more non-financial reasons too that I will share in upcoming episodes of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Is owning a home right for you? I don't know. But what I do know, on the aggregate and in my professional opinion, owning a home has been and will always be better from a financial standpoint than renting. In closing, I want to share this fact. The first step to home ownership is not to go to one of those fancy websites that shows you all these houses that may or may not or may have been on the market. And it's not to hop in the car on a weekend and start visiting open houses. The first step to home ownership is the home loan. And the second step is to go find your home. This will provide you with price and cost clarity and certainty when you find that right place. Now, you may have questions about what you heard in this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, and that is awesome. I am here to help you and invite you to call me directly at 919-238-4934. I believe there is never a substitute for being an educated consumer. My name is Kevin Martini. I'm a certified mortgage advisor and branch manager of the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial Company, which is located in the capital city of North Carolina, which is Raleigh, North Carolina. However, we help families all over the U.S. We provide the families we serve with trusted advice with a frictionless digital mortgage process that provides certainty. Thank you for listening. And please share this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast with someone you care about. And thank you in advance for leaving a 5-star review. Now it's time for disclosure. This material has been prepared for marketing purposes only. This is not a loan commitment or guarantee of any kind. Loan approval and rate are dependent upon borrower's credit, collateral, financial history, and program availability at time of origination. Rates and terms are subject to change without notice. Corporate address 3701 Arco Corporate Drive, Suite 200, Charlotte, North Carolina 28273. Cardinal Financial Company, limited partnership, doing business as NMLS 66247. For a full list and more licensing information, visit https://cardinalfinancial.com/licensing. Equal housing opportunity. For more information about myself, Kevin Martini, and the Martini Group at Cardinal Financial, visit www.martinimortgage.com or call us at 919-238-4934.